Today I'm going to show you how to convert a bike to a single speed. I'll show you two separate ways. We're going to do one which will only involve removing your rear gear cable, so there'll be nothing else stripped off the bike. We're just going to fix it into one gear. The other option is to start taking things off, and we're going to run a chain tensioner, a single speed cog on the back and a single chain ring on the front. So to start with, if we want to set this just into one gear, what you can do is you want to pick a cog on the back that's going to be pretty much ideal for you. A lot of people tend to run a ratio of 2 to 1. So if you run, say, a 32 chainring on the front, you'll maybe run something like an 18 on the back. Okay? So if we select a gear, we want to shift up as you normally would, and we'll pick a gear there. Now we want to set the derailleur to stop it from shifting back down. So what we do is on the derailleur here, we have a low screw and we have a high screw. If we do up this high screw, that effectively stops the derailleur from shifting back down. So then when you're pedaling away, you can still shift the front gear and you can see the gear does not drop back down. Now obviously we then would have to remove the actual gear cable. So if we undo that, and you can still see that the gear is not going anywhere. So you're fixed now in the one on the back. So your next step is to do exactly the same thing on the front. What you want to do is, again, you have a low screw and you'll have a high screw. If we work away and we do up the low screw, you can see the plates on the derailleur are moving. So we want to keep doing that up until you get it up into the middle ring. Might take a bit of doing, but there we go. Then do the same with the high screw, just do that up all the way in, and then again with the shifter, if you press anything on that shifter, that derailleur is not moving. You've now effectively got yourself a single speed. You can remove the gear cables, take them all out, strip them out of the shifter. You don't even have to take the shifters off, just remove the gear cables. That's the quickest, simplest, easiest way, and you're done. Right, I'll show you a second option. Second option now is literally strip everything back off. Right. The easiest thing would be to take the chain off first. Now a lot of chains will come with a split link, like that, that we can pinch together. These can be a bit awkward. Or you can forget the split link and we can just take the chain off the conventional way with a chain tool. And you'll want to take that off completely. Right. Now the cable we've already loosened off, but again you'd want to take that off. And then we'll take off the rear derailleur. It comes away. We can strip off the front. We can leave the cable attached and make it easier when you put everything back together if you decide you want to run gears again later. Now your next step, we're going to take the whole chain set has to come off, because we're going to need to take off the bottom ring and we'll take off the top ring. Now loads of different chain sets come off in different ways. You might either want to go to a bike shop, you can bring it to me, you can take it to your local store, or if you have the tools, you'll know what to do. Chainstay comes off, nice and simple. And your next step is we want to take these rings off. And all we want left is a middle ring. Make sure you don't lose your bolts if you ever want to put them back on. So, now you can remove your big ring. And all we're left with is your middle. Then, now, you may have an issue now with these bolts. Could be too long. You'll see if you push one through, I'll show you there, you've got a ridge. So when you do that up, you'll find that's going to rattle. And the chainring will still stay loose. So what you'll probably want to do is you can pick up a bolt kit, which is a narrower chainring bolt that will just bolt straight in. Alternatively, you can get bigger washers and just put a washer in. Will do pretty much the same job. Once you've got all those bolts back in, make sure they're done up tight, and you can put your chainstay back on. The next step, we're going to convert the back end, so we just have the one cog. Right. Wheel comes out, take off your quick release skewer, strip that off, and we've got to get this cassette off. Now, we have a cassette tool, which will slot in to there. You'll need your chain whip, and you'll need your adjustable. Then with your chain whip on, use the adjustable on the tool you just slotted in, and then turn. Just loosen it off and you should be able to get the rest of the lock ring off. Nice and easy. And remove your cassette. Now you're going to want to pick up a kit to fit back on there, and what you'll see is you'll end up with something like this. You'll have a single cog and you'll have a load of spacers. Now at this stage you should be able to see from the back of the bike, looking down the cog, you want to make sure that you have a straight line from the cog coming through to this. Now if it's not, you have to remove this and change which side you put the spacers in. Okay? You can also change which side of the crank that you put this chain ring on. You can put it on either side. So you just want to fiddle around with that until you get that dead straight. Otherwise you're going to have issues when you're riding, and the chain will keep falling off. Now the next thing you'll need is a chain tensioner. Now obviously a chain stretches, so on a bike that's initially set up, it's supposed to have gears, there's no way of adjusting the wheel to take up the tension to get the chain tight again. So we have to put in your chain tensioner. You could just use your old rear derailleur if you wanted. It will do exactly the same job. It doesn't look as tidy. We can then put the chain back on. Make sure that slots through. And pull that tight. We want this to be as tight as we can get it up. And then you'll see where you want to remove your links. So we want to take off to about here. So we're going to take off a whole section of links here and then reattach the train. And once you've done that, you have yourself a single speed. Complete and done.